Let's begin by exploring how the global balance of power has shifted since the Cold War. Dr. Carter, the text paints a picture of leaders facing rapid change and uncertainty. How does today's geopolitical climate compare to that era?
Great question. The Cold War was defined by two clear blocs, the US and the Soviet Union, with rigid alliances and predictability. Now, the world order is fragmented. Power is more diffuse, with China rising, Russia adapting, and the US grappling with internal and external pressures. Rather than two poles, we see multiple centers of influence and shifting alliances.
That's a major transformation. The text describes meetings in Washington, Moscow, and Beijing, each with different strategies. How do these approaches reflect the new realities of global competition?
Each capital embodies its own logic. The U.S. debates open support versus restraint, worried about overreach. Russia leverages resilience, surviving sanctions, seeking new allies. China, meanwhile, favors patience and economic expansion, building influence subtly rather than direct confrontation. It's like a chessboard, where every piece moves with hidden motives, not just kings and queens.
Given this complexity, what risks emerge for smaller nations and ordinary people caught in the crossfire?
Smaller nations often become pawns or battlegrounds. Ukraine is a clear example. For individuals, the impacts are tangible: economic hardship, insecurity, and information overload. The breakdown of clear alliances means uncertainty pervades daily life, from energy prices in Berlin to a fisherman under drone surveillance in the South China Sea.
Transitioning to economics, the text highlights China's relentless growth, its factories, shipping routes, and global investments. How has China managed to challenge Western economic dominance so effectively?
China's strategy is multifaceted. It combines state-driven industrial policy, massive infrastructure projects like the Belt and Road Initiative, and strategic control of rare minerals. Unlike the U.S., which often prioritizes open markets, China integrates economic, technological, and political goals. For example, over 60 countries now rely on Chinese-built infrastructure or supply chains.
Some see this as beneficial development, while others fear dependency. What are the real-world consequences for countries accepting Chinese investment?
It's a double-edged sword. In Kenya, a new railway boosts trade but increases debt. In Europe, Chinese investment in critical infrastructure raises security concerns. A 2022 study found that countries heavily indebted to China are more vulnerable to political pressure, sometimes called debt trap diplomacy. Yet many also gain jobs and improved logistics.
How does this economic expansion intersect with military and technological ambitions, especially regarding Taiwan and the South China Sea?
China's economic and military strategies reinforce each other. Control over shipping lanes and technological dominance such as microchips and AI creates leverage in regional disputes. Taiwan's semiconductor industry, for example, is a global choke point, making any conflict there a potential economic catastrophe for the world.
Another dimension in the text is information warfare deepfakes, AI-generated propaganda, and cyber attacks. Could you break down how technology is reshaping modern conflict?
Absolutely. Traditional wars were fought with soldiers and tanks. Now, battles happen online and in our minds. Deepfakes, for example, can fabricate a leader's speech, incite unrest, or sway elections. AI-driven bots spread misinformation at lightning speed, making it harder for citizens to distinguish fact from fiction. Think of the 2016 and 2020 U.S. elections as early cases.
The text describes cyber attacks that shut down power grids and erase news stories. What are the broader implications for national security and democracy?
Cyber attacks are cost-effective and hard to trace, making them attractive for state and non-state actors. They disrupt critical infrastructure. Imagine hospitals losing power or banks freezing assets. For democracy, the erosion of trust is profound. If citizens can't trust what they see or read, public discourse fragments and polarization intensifies, undermining social cohesion.
Are there any safeguards or solutions emerging to counter these threats?
Governments and tech companies are developing verification tools like blockchain-based news authentication and AI that detects manipulated media. However, the race is tight. Attackers innovate rapidly. International cooperation, digital literacy, and robust regulatory frameworks are crucial, but the world is playing catch-up.
Turning to another theme, the text suggests that billionaires and corporations now rival states in influence, controlling satellites, data, and even public opinion. How real is this shift from public to private power?
It's substantial. Unlike in the past, where governments monopolized power, today's tech giants shape how we communicate, transact, and consume information. For example, a single tweet from a billionaire can crash stock markets. Elon Musk's influence over cryptocurrency is a prominent case. Companies like Meta and Google also set the terms of public debate.
The text hints at both opportunity and risk-free internet in Africa, but at the cost of data and filtered news. How do we ensure accountability in this new landscape?
Accountability is a major challenge. Many global corporations operate beyond the reach of national laws, exploiting tax loopholes or shaping regulations in their favor. Some countries, like the EU, are trying to rein in big tech with data privacy laws and antitrust actions, but enforcement is difficult. The risk is that unelected actors wield disproportionate influence over critical infrastructure and public discourse.
With technology advancing and crises multiplying, could private actors become even more powerful than states in the decades ahead?
It's possible. If trends continue, we could see corporations controlling essential technologies, AI, space infrastructure, global communications, making them indispensable to governments. Hypothetically, a future where a single company controls the world's energy grid or AI-driven defense systems is not far-fetched, raising profound questions about democracy and sovereignty.
As we look ahead, the text ends with a stark warning. The world stands on the edge, with crises looming, economic, environmental, technological. What are the most significant risks you foresee?
The interconnectedness of our systems is both a strength and a vulnerability. A cyber attack in one country can cascade globally. Climate change threatens food security for millions, as seen in African droughts and wildfires in the U.S. Economic shocks in China or the U.S. now trigger global recessions. The next crisis could be a pandemic, a financial collapse, or even a major war sparked by miscalculation.
Given this volatility, is the U.S. truly at risk of losing its superpower status, as the text suggests?
While the U.S. retains military and technological advantages, internal division, economic inequality, and eroding trust are real threats. History shows empires often fall not just from external pressure, but from within. If America cannot address its domestic challenges, rivals like China or even non-state actors could fill the void.
Finally, the text hints that the next global leader may not be a country at all. Do you agree?
I do. The future of power may lie with those who control technology, shape narratives, or drive innovation, whether they are nations, corporations, or even networks of individuals. Adaptability, resilience, and creativity will be the defining traits of tomorrow's leaders, not just military might or economic